Number 1, have you ever been in a relationship where you should have gotten a punch card? Stay for 10 emotional breakdowns, get 1 free therapy.
Yeah, all of them. For me, all of them, which is why I stopped dating and cut everything off. And now I just work on me because YOLO. Like, you only live one life, and I was in punch cardville, and I was like, this is not fun anymore.
Yeah.
The chaos eventually gets exhausting, and it takes a toll on your body and your mind, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna drive off a cliff, or I can turn in this punch card and leave it and like exit stage left.
So the reason I say I can trace it back to middle school is because one of my boyfriends, I'm not going to name him because we're still good friends on Facebook. I actually let him wear my New Kids on the Block necklace.
Shit. That's when you know it's real love.
It was real love, but I was devastated, and I should have gone to therapy then. I mean, my punch card was probably punched like 10 times just because of the necklace. In the 5th grade, I remember passing a note to this kid, happened to be the twin brother of said boyfriend I was talking about, but in the 5th grade, not in 7th grade, like when the necklace was exchanged. I remember passing a note, and it kind of backfired on me because I said, do you want to go out with me or this other girl? And he circled the other girl. And then we got into middle school, and he knew that I still liked him, so then he asked me for pot money every day.
You giving him pot money because he's using you.
Yeah, but you want to hear where I got the pot money? So my mom and my aunt decided at the time they were going to do like this vending machine business and put vending machines in the town. And so then they'd go empty out the quarters, and I knew where it was hidden in my mom's closet. So I'd go get pockets full of quarters.
Welcome to I Am Her. We're all about glitter, grit, and grace. This is The Shift, where spiritual meets spicy, F-bombs meet forgiveness, and shadow work occasionally throws glitter.
Welcome everyone to I Am Her, Season 2, Episode number 6.
I got it right, Amy.
And we are
Together because
we're in California! What are we doing here?
We're seeing
And Bunnie XO. Well, okay.
Don't talk to me. I don't know what we're doing. This is her jam.
Okay, so
I'm moral support.
we came to California because I'm super duper excited because Bunnie XO just put out her memoir, and it's number 1 in the world, and she's having a book tour, and one of the stops was in LA, and I couldn't not come because she's been quite an influence in my life and my healing journey. So that
And
is
she's
where,
sharing it with me.
yes.
She's like, who wants to go? And I was like, let's do it.
Tylene's along for the ride.
Yeah.
So fun.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great night. It's been really nice outside.
We did get here last night. I got here yesterday late afternoon, had some things to do out for work. Tylene got here at like 10:30 last night. So we haven't had a lot of chance to do anything. And then we're both flying out early tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
So it's a very quick
trip.
I mean, it's for one reason and one reason only.
I love going to book tours. I love going to like Jay Shetty and speakers. I would prefer that over a concert any day.
Yeah.
I actually don't really go to concerts unless we're talking about Hillary Duff. I'm in. But I'm excited to see what she has to say because this is like a new experience for me as far as genre, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
it'll be good.
Yay. Oh, wait. I'm Emmy.
And I'm Thylene.
We're so excited. We forgot that part.
But that's who we are.
So today we are going to be talking about what gave us permission to give relationship advice after recording just one podcast episode.
Which is, who the hell knows?
So this is going to be kind of like a Q&A to ourselves. So these are questions that we have not read yet. And so we are going to answer them.
Yeah.
So it should be kind of interesting. We've kept them on lockdown.
So this is the reveal. These are going to be like real time, real talk answers. Kind of like picking our brain. We wanted to do something a little fun because we're in Cali and we've been pretty serious lately. We've been heavily working on ourselves and really trying to make sure that you guys get like really good information. So we just thought, Em and I are such goofballs when we're together, so we just thought it'd be fun to do something a little different. So Here we go.
A little lighthearted. Okay. All right. So let me pull them up here. Okay. Number 1. Have you ever been in a relationship where you should have gotten a punch card? Stay for 10 emotional breakdowns, get 1 free therapy session.
Yeah, all of them. For me, all of them, which is why I stopped dating and cut everything off. And now I just work on me because YOLO. Like you only live one life, and I was in punch cardville, and I was like, this is not fun anymore.
Yeah.
The chaos eventually gets exhausting, and it takes a toll on your body and your mind, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna drive off a cliff, or I can turn in this punch card and leave it and like exit stage left.
Yep. And I can trace mine back to like middle school, silly,
Really?
Immature relationships, like.
Wait, so when was the first time that you when was your first kiss? Oh, that's not fair. Well, okay.
14.
Okay, so when I was in preschool, a little boy kissed me on the playground.
Think so.
And I didn't have a choice. He just came up and kissed me. I didn't even know what he did. I was like, what the fuck was that? Except for no F word, right? and then I didn't even kiss, really kiss, make out with someone until I was 17. So, but I was an athlete. I was in the gym.
Yeah. It wasn't really kissing.
So, when was your real kiss?
14.
Okay.
14.
Is that young?
Yeah. That is pretty young.
Is it? I mean, for our time, I feel like that was young, but
it was
these days.
These days, no, but it was scandalous back then.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they kissed each other.
Yeah.
So the reason I say I can trace it back to middle school is because, one of my boyfriends, I'm not going to name him because we're still good friends on Facebook. I actually let him wear my New Kids on the Block necklace.
Shit. That's when you know it's real love.
It was real love. And then we broke up. And so it
How
was
many days later, though?
I don't even remember. But I was devastated, and I should have gone to therapy then. My punch card was probably punched 10 times just because of the necklace. And I still have the necklace, just by the way.
Of course you do. I expect
I'm just saying.
No less from you.
So that qualifies me to give relationship advice.
Obviously.
Because don't let somebody wear your necklace, because it's not going to end well. Okay? All right.
I think mine isn't even when was your first kiss, because when I think about my first relationship, it was
in the 5th grade. I remember passing a note to this kid, happened to be the twin brother of said boyfriend I was talking about, but in the 5th grade, not in 7th grade, when the necklace was exchanged. I remember passing a note, and it kind of backfired on me because I said, do you want to go out with me or this other girl? And he circled the other girl. I really want him to circle my name.
That's ballsy.
But he didn't. And then we got into middle school, and he knew that I still liked him. So then he asked me for pot money every day when we got into the 6th grade.
Emma.
And I gave it to him because I still liked him. And then I gave his brother my necklace the next year.
Because then you giving him pot money because he's using you, because he knows that you like him.
Yeah.
Translates into, now just think about where that, not his brother, but further down the road, when you got married and stuff,
Yeah, but you want to hear where I got the pot money? This is even funnier.
God.
So my mom and my aunt decided
what happened was,
at the time they were going to do this vending machine business and put vending machines in the town. And so then they'd go empty out the quarters, and I knew where it was hidden in my mom's closet. So I'd go get pockets full of quarters. That's how I
stole your mom's money and gave it to your boy.
Okay, number 2. What relationship did you survive that makes you feel like you should legally be allowed to teach a class called Absolutely Not 101.
I've always been a part of Absolutely Not One-on-One, and I've been teaching it for many, many years. The problem is that my Absolutely Not One-on-One class was for everyone else, not me. my Absolutely Not was like, absolutely not, you cannot date my friend. Absolutely not, she will not go with you. And then I'm over here like, yes, I can go with you. Like, absolutely yes when it comes to me. But my friends, they're off limits. You can't use them. Like, what?
So I probably wouldn't ever teach a class. I would just say, like, fuck off and absolutely not. And then turn the other way. That's what I would do.
Oh my God.
So
I actually am, like, I've been coaching since I was like 14. I enjoy teaching, like helping people grow and teaching them ways. And I think I'm perfectly qualified because, you know, life has bit me in the ass enough and I've come out on the other side as a better human being. And who better to teach Absolutely Not 101 than someone who didn't say absolutely not and experienced every level of that.
yeah.
Qualified. Ding.
Check. Have you ever had a crush so intense in elementary school you picked a fight with that person just so they would interact with you?
No. But I did do stupid shit so they would see me, or I would talk louder, or I would like, hey friend, say something really funny, he's coming. But we didn't even like talk about anything, because if you're laughing and then you kind of look at them and then look at the person, it was a whole like, it was a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't pick
Maybe I was a little older, but
well, maybe.
yeah.
I didn't necessarily pick a fight with someone, but must have been 3rd, 4th grade, maybe. It was like ritual for one particular person, who, by the way, I still communicate with in our late 40s, which is really nice. I looked forward to recess because he would chase me around the playground. And so I would do things like kick a rock or, you know, something to get his attention if he was playing with his buddies. So he would chase me around the playground.
I mean, we had Chase too.
Yeah.
And it was like, he likes you because he chased you the longest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
I don't think I did anything per se to like hit them or punch them. But not obviously. When I was in elementary school, I was bullied really bad. So there was like fun points and these things happened, but as I got older, like closer to 5th grade, it got pretty bad. And then I went to middle school and like people worshiped the ground that I walked on, and I was like, what is this witchcraft? Like, I literally went into 6th grade, sat down at this table, and then people were fighting over who was going to sit next to me. And I was like, going from being bullied to like people fighting over you, it fucks with your head.
Now, I'm not condoning the part of, you know, kicking a rock or doing something to get anybody's attention. No.
I feel like there's a but here.
But I mean, sometimes, you know, you do what you got to do within reason, okay?
You don't just like go punch him in the face and be like, I like you.
No, don't punch him in the face. But you can do something subtle to let him know. Now,
okay,
this
what's
was
subtle
the 4th
for you,
grade.
though? Okay,
this
what's
was the
subtle?
4th grade.
Give me an example of subtle.
Like passing the note that backfired. Passing a note is subtle, you know, to get their attention.
Well, it's not violent, so that's good. Yeah, that's not gonna, I guess notes could end you up in the principal's office too.
They could. It wasn't even like a check yes or no thing. It wasn't like
that's what I was
meet me
gonna
behind
ask
the
you.
portables. No.
Mine were always yes or no.
Oh, I take that back. There was a yes or no because after
the names
were given and he chose the one over me, her and I together gave another note to him. It said, will you double date us, yes or no? And he said no.
What a loser.
I mean, I tried every avenue.
What a loser.
I know, and I still gave him my pot money. Okay, all right, moving on. Okay, have you ever argued about someone's tone in a conversation over text message?
Yeah.
I have too.
Wait, was it you recently? Someone literally, this just happened like a few days ago. You tell yours, I'm going to find mine because I literally just was talking to someone about tone in a text. Let me find it.
I don't think it was me, but caps lock tends to give the impression
Of yelling.
Now, for my 9-to-5 job, when I put notes into accounts in the hospital system, I like to have everything caps because it's just easier to read in the system. And that's not yelling. But in text message, it can be construed as yelling. And so I am guilty of coming back when someone has everything in caps saying, do not yell at me. Even though it might have just been a double click of the little arrow, you know, that made it caps. It wasn't anything mean.
You literally are like, I'm not yelling at you.
Yeah, I'm like,
I just really mean it.
Stop yelling. Even though it's probably somebody that just didn't know that their fucking finger like hit the button twice. They're not yelling at me.
Innocent, totally innocent.
But there are some times, like certain family members of mine have, you know, we've been in some struggles, communication struggles, and you can tell because there'll be like some words of a sentence and then the part that's emphasized is put in caps, and it's like,
yeah,
don't you come at me with that caps word.
Don't you dare raise your voice at me.
Don't you raise your word at me.
I always say, you close your mouth when you're talking to me. Okay, so a friend, I moved, and then my neighbor moved too. And sometimes I drive that way home and I'll pass the house. And the house, like the light was on and nobody's supposed to be there. So I texted him, I'm like, bro, I just drove by and your light was on. And he was like, what did he say? He said, thank you, but no need to check on the house. I said, I wasn't, I was just driving by. And he's like, I'm just giving you shit. And I was like, asshat. And he said, I wish I could have seen the look on your face. I tried hard to sound serious in my text. And I was like, it's a text.
Texts don't sound.
Exactly. I'm like, you're such an asshole. But that's so funny that this is the question, because this literally was like 2 days ago. And I was like, bro, it's a text. Like it's actually a text. So sound how? How was I supposed to know? Also, the next time you're in town, we're fighting. Physically. Fighting. In person.
Now, with technology these days, voice notes are different because voice notes go via text.
Yeah.
And that would constitute I was trying to sound like an asshole or whatever that was. But literally typing something, unless you are on your phone just like thinking the other person can actually hear you rage typing.
Yeah. I don't care about your rage.
There's nothing to hear.
Yeah.
Glad you feel better.
It's so funny because like text can be, you're literally reading text in your voice, like how you would read it. And if you're upset at the situation, you're reading it upset. So that person on the other line might not be upset, but you're upset what's being said. And so the way that you read it in your head is upset. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's you, not them.
Yeah, that's your interpretation.
Yeah, exactly.
Of what they're saying.
Exactly.
Okay. Have you ever rehearsed a breakup speech for 3 weeks and then chickened out and said everything's fine?
Oh, I almost said something really bad.
Well, I'm glad you didn't.
I don't want to hurt anybody, but like jokingly I was going to say my whole marriage. But like my whole marriage was not. There was good things. There were amazing things about my marriage, right? I don't want people to think that I always come on here and talk about marriage and fuck the institution of it, and that's not it. There was some really great things about being married. But when we talk about this, I did that for a very long time. And I think as women, we emotionally leave first before we physically leave. And that's part of the emotional stage of leaving, is psyching yourself up, like getting yourself ready and trying to prepare yourself for what it looks like, what your life could possibly look like. And then you chicken out and you stay for another 2 years or 4 years or whatever.
So I can't really think of a time I rehearsed a breakup speech, but I have rehearsed on repeat conversations with a friend.
Wait,
when I was ending
how
a relationship.
Did you not rehearse a breakup? If you're gonna break up with someone, you don't just go and say, "Hey, blah 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 blah." Typically, it's a I think it's a well thought out process.
I didn't rehearse it and then say everything's fine, because when I left my marriage, I didn't rehearse it and then not go.
So am I okay, so
I left when I left.
Am I the fucking weirdo? Because I rehearse shit constantly.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
But is that fight or flight? Fight or flight.
Yeah.
And like living in scarcity, you don't know the outcome. And when you don't know the outcome for so long about so many things, you start like planning shit out, and then you have everything from the worst case scenario and then everything in between figured out, so that when something happens, you feel safe enough to react.
Yeah.
So
I do rehearse. I do have conversations with myself in the car.
Okay.
Where I need to approach a different type of relationship, like a friendship or a family relationship, where I need to approach something important, and then it comes time to do it, and I just
chicken out.
I
will say that I'm like the opposite with my family. It was more rage, like it was more in the moment emotional and more action then, and I did chicken out like a lot, but it was the least rehearsed.
Yeah. In these conversations in my car, call them conversations.
The
breakup goes smooth. Without a hitch. They accept what I'm telling them. They say, thank you for letting me know. Everything is fine. That's not fucking reality.
No.
Because what I want and need to say to these people, they're not just going to give me a hug and tell me, thank you for telling me everything's fine. Not with these particular people.
Just in your head. Yeah, I will say, like, with my marriage, I thought it was going to be, what's the word? Amicable. Yeah. And in my head, I had done worst case but who I thought we were, I thought we could get to that place. And I don't think I've ever been more wrong in my life.
Okay, here's one. Have you ever stayed because you didn't want to admit your friends were right? I will answer this one first, because I will say that this is friends and family. They all told me I was getting married too young, my first marriage, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, everybody. I know what I'm doing. I'm 17 years old.
I know everything.
Nobody can tell me otherwise. And plus, my bishop told me that I needed to do this, so he knows better than anybody, right? At that point, I could have said, you
had no red flags.
My brother even sat me down before he went on his mission for church and said, at least wait till I get home. And I said, no, I know what I'm doing. They all told me, but I knew what I was doing. Yeah. I was right.
Yeah.
So
and
I'll know how well that worked out.
Uh-huh.
So
you were really right.
Yeah.
For a very short amount of time.
3.5 years. Yep. Okay.
I want to say that what other people thought and whatever fueled my actions, but I don't think I ever stayed for like their wants and whatever. But it definitely fueled the idea of who I was supposed to be and like what our family stood for, and like the fact that I was already a single mom, like that definitely fueled it. But that's not exactly what that question is. So no to that, but the sister to it, yes.
Okay, all right, we're winding down here. I think we're getting a pretty good handle on being able to tell you all this is how we have been approved to offer relationship advice on our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we are non-expert experts.
Yeah.
And we give our unsolicited, sometimes judgmental advice. But there's no judgment here. Okay. All right, here we go. This is the grand finale. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
If relationships came with Yelp reviews, how many of yours would be 1 star with would not recommend?
All of them. Every last one of them. Because I can't control other people and I'm not going to please anyone anymore. When you stop choosing other people who have benefited from the fact that you haven't chose yourself for so many years, people get mad. And I'm not really, I'm okay with bad reviews. I don't give a fuck. I would look at those and I laugh in the face of danger. Like, I don't care. Give me all the 1-star reviews, because in my eyes, if my reviews are at 1, that means I'm doing the right thing. If you have all 5-star reviews, I would question.
So I think the ones that have not been successful, I would definitely give a 1 star, not because they've all been with bad people, but because obviously they didn't work for one reason or another. So the relationship in itself, when I recommend 1 star would not recommend,
yeah,
it would be because I don't recommend putting so much into this and then having your heart broken at the end. All right, so now we are moving into the bonus round. Okay, this is the rapid fire round. Okay, now we can only give 1-word answers. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So, and we're gonna read through them fast.
Okay.
And 1 word only. Okay.
Okay.
Elementary school crush behavior: cute or unhinged?
Unhinged.
Cute. Situationships: growth or trauma?
Trauma.
He's just bad at texting: truth or a lie?
Lie.
Such a lie. Chemistry: when you have chemistry with somebody, a blessing or a trap?
Oh, it depends. Read it again.
When you have chemistry with somebody, is it a blessing or a trap?
It depends on where you are in your healing journey. Trap, if you if you don't respect yourself and love yourself first. Great. The other one, if you are both growing and learning. Chemistry's great. But
She doesn't follow directions.
oh fuck, 1 word.
Trap.
I can't do 1 word. That is not a 1-word question.
Love bombing: obvious or confusing?
Obvious.
I can fix him: brave or delusional?
Delusional.
Silent treatment: mature or manipulative?
Manipulative. Blah, blah, blah.
Checking their Instagram: healing or research?
Research.
I was gonna say that too. Okay, blocking and unblocking: closure or chaos? Chaos. Late night deep talks: connection or delusion?
Delusion.
Connection.
Ew. Gross.
We're just vibing: real or avoidant?
Avoidant.
Same. 1 word, so I'm not explaining.
I know that I had to go through the explanation in my head so that I didn't break the rule.
Apologizing first: peace or pattern? Pattern. Staying for potential: hope or fantasy?
Fantasy.
Overanalyzing texts: skill or sickness?
Sickness.
Taking them back: grace or regression?
Regression. 1000%.
Arguing over tone: valid or petty?
I just wouldn't even. This is hard. Neither of those. It's just stupid. It's not worth your time.
Well, it does say valid or petty. We'll go with
Or
Ghosting, cowardly, or convenient?
Convenient.
Cowardly. Posting cryptic quotes, healing, or subtle tweeting?
Neither. That's sickness.
Or that's okay.
Those were fun.
There you have it, everybody. This is why we are qualified to give you unsolicited judgment, non-judgment relationship advice. So bring us all your questions. Visit us at iamheardthepodcast.com. Scroll down, submit your show ideas. We would love to hear what you have to say and what you're interested in. All right, let's move into her vibe check. What's your top takeaway from today?
Okay. Literally, this episode makes me want to keep doing what the fuck I'm doing, because it just highlighted all of the reasons why I'm not dating. And how my journey is my own, and how proud I am of myself that we can talk about and laugh about these things. Because a few years ago, I was so traumatized and had so little identity and confidence within myself in the decisions that I was making, that these wouldn't be funny to me. They would be like, oh shit, did I make a mistake? Is that? Because some of those are like the texting ones, or like the ghosting, are things that the fixing, those are all things that I used to think were made a good woman. All of those things were sacrifice for your kids and your husband, and for what? So that I can turn 60 and die early? Get the fuck out of here. Then I look back on my life and I'm like, my kids are grown, they're out doing their own thing, they don't give a fuck about me anymore. But my takeaway is that I'm doing the right thing. I can tell that I'm doing the right thing because we can laugh and joke about these things, and do it in good fun. And also, I'm able to, the two of us, being able to call, especially that fast round, and call most of those out for what they were immediately, are like, that to me is progress, because I feel like a lot of people aren't there in the world yet.
Yeah, I don't think that I would have been able to laugh and joke about my marriage at 17 years old, even like you said a couple years ago, because it was still so painful to me, because I was still healing from it.
Yeah.
You know, but now I can make light of it. It's not funny, but I can make light of the situation, because I was always raised to laugh through all the hard stuff, and now I can encourage other people to learn from what I went through, and I learn from environments like this better.
Yeah.
You know, the humor, the relatable situations. So
Community of it, yeah.
yeah, and it just also makes me realize that I have my own real talk rituals that I should submit, because maybe I need some advice on
Please do.
being okay with stealing my mom's quarters, and like what part of my inner child needed to give, I almost said his name, this person's pot money like every day. All right, well, thank you everybody for sticking with us. It's been a lot of fun. And just remember, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts on your favorite platform. So until next time, just remember, somewhere a lion in a Hawaiian shirt is cheering you on. Bye, everybody.
Bye.